It's an age joke, John. We're not there yet.
Yeah, believe me. You know, people often say things like that. They say, well, you know, I had no idea it would start like this. In this instance, I really didn't have any idea. On the very first episode of Talking the Talk, I would end up on a forest somewhere, probably in North America, on a set of steps. Anyway. Weirder things have happened. Usually I'm on wobbly eggs. Not the case at this point in time, so we'll just carry on. Let's introduce the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talking the Talk. Neil, pick up the fat lab with you in the mother fluffing house. And if you're wondering what the f*** is going on, do not adjust your TV set, your phone, or anything else. I actually don't know how we ended up in a forest on a set of stairs. I'm assuming one of these guys does. And how long this will last? Will it last the entire show? Not sure. Quite weird. Who did actually start this, guys? Is that John? You're pretty technical. No? Doesn't look like it was John. Is it Gary?
I have no idea what's going on. I'm still delirious.
Yeah. So, let me give you a bit of an outline. For those of you who don't know the guys that are on the screen, where the f*** have you been? Because as we start to kick off 2021, it's fair to say that the biggest thing that has happened so far in arm wrestling this year had to be the Armathon. New year 2020 to 2021. Let me tell you now, I've known Gary Roberts for, God, when did you start arm wrestling, mate? 2003, something like
that? We met at 2003 Worlds in Ottawa.
Ottawa, Canada. 2003 Worlds, when I was a stripper, lad. Nowhere near the back tit having mother fluffer that you see before you now. My wife was nowhere near as flat and she didn't need as much of a bench press as she currently does. Oh no, I was actually in shape. But at that time, I had no idea that Gary Roberts was actually a marathon runner in this stamina stakes. A man who has the endurance of a 90s coked up raver. The other day, he went 24 hours straight, and I'm pretty sure that as the show drew to an end, I was more knackered than you, Gary.
Yeah.
I was more knackered than you.
Hey, don't take away my 17 minutes. It was 24 hours and 17 minutes.
Is that what but that's what it finally clocked up.
Yeah.
Friggin' animal. So we're going to start there. I think we're going to start there. First of all, I'm just going to give you a bit of an outline of this show. Talking the Talk is new to the
Hold on. Before you give the intro, can I give you some exclusive content?
Absolutely, mate. I would expect nothing less than you to interrupt in the first 30 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta listen to this. Ready?
Okay.
That was amazing.
He's not playing games, is he, old Nola Mitz? he is not, but I like how he pitched a bit in there as well. He just went, you know, when you, I sometimes do that in the shower. Usually either when I stand on my own dick or I'm just trying to reach that little bit higher in a song, and John knows exactly what I'm talking about with the first bit.
Absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
I'm sorry.
I'm going to introduce, hey, mate. As I said, I expect nothing less. I want to introduce who we have got on for the people who don't know. First of all, Gary Roberts, I've just introed a little bit. Let me give you a bit of background on Gary Roberts. He is an OG of arm wrestling, I'm going to say YouTube-esque production. Because you were like the forerunner, the torchbearer of what so many people today would consider YouTube production of arm wrestling. The first real flyer in that respect. And at one time, I'm going to say Gary was probably more active in that respect than anybody has ever been since. He was literally everywhere within North America. When you went to a show, you'd have been pretty upset if Gary wasn't there. He was part of the furniture, name and location. He'd pop up on your ass, and you had to tell him where you were from, what your name was, and what was going down. And at that time, the way that he shot arm wrestling, the way that he produced arm wrestling was absolutely unique, and it was stunning. It was great. It was real life, fly on the wall stuff. It was ahead of its time. And it's funny, Gary's just come back into the sport now and has started putting up some of the old stuff. And I noticed that a lot of your new stuff is getting quite a lot of eyeballs and quite a lot of the chat. And people are missing the gold. They are missing the gold. So guys, get yourselves over to Arm TV. Gary, what am I doing introducing your chat? Tell them where they can find you, Mother Fluffer.
Well, I mean, the old website is still up, myarmtv.com. It's still there. It's got some glitches, but I've tried to keep it alive this entire time. However, the main motivation, the main focus is finally uniting with the devil, YouTube. I was not a fan of YouTube when it first came around. I really wasn't. I was angry because they essentially shut me down. Well, YouTube, Facebook, cell phones, the ability for people to upload their own footage, really like overnight. You know, I get it. There's still a need for what I was doing, but overnight the business model fell apart, and I was using that to pay rent and stuff, so I had to get a job. But for now, all my focus and motivations are building my YouTube channel. I have finally adopted the moniker YouTuber, even though I was creating that content before YouTuber existed.
So we're going to come back to that whole thing in a moment, but I'm going to just carry on introducing the other guys on the call. Secondly, our other resident host on here is, I'm going to call him a newcomer in some respects to this format. Although his background, his pedigree, is in radio presentation. And if you watch this guy's show, he is polished. He's professional. He's probably the most professional person on this call. Quite weirdly, his eyes look black, like one of those zombies right now. I have no idea why, but your eyes have just gone black. Is that the same on everybody else's screen? Derek, Gary, do his eyes look black to you? Now you don't. Now I can actually see. But when he sits back, that's some sinister shit right there. But ladies and gentlemen, John Thompson, Uncle John's arm wrestling channel. Woo! Now, John is a competitor and a pretty solid level competitor, particularly left-handed. He's actually a Yank. I think he was originally from Minnesota.
Yep.
Let me tell you about the level of this guy's commitment. He met a woman, and such were his feelings for this woman that he moved to a place where it's so cold that your seriously, that your penis shrinks by 2 inches, and there's nothing you can do about it. The kind of level of commitment that we're talking about.
Well, you know, Neil, if I didn't start at 10 inches, I definitely wouldn't have moved here.
There you go, you see. Only a man with that kind of confidence moves to Nova Scotia, Canada, where he currently resides and gets into fights with people like Evan, I'm pissed, Bergoyen. And we'll ask another person we'll talk about later on because he nearly single-handedly wrote off the Armathon. I mean, I didn't even see Evan on the show, and I've received messages telling me that I need to do a show on how much of a dick Evan was on your show. I haven't even seen him. I didn't see the show. And I'm not joking. 4 or 5 people have sent me comments on that. Did you see Evan? And I'm like, no. And they're like, he was really drunk. And I'm like, you didn't expect that? You know Evan Bergoyen? I mean, anyway. Again,
first of all, can I just say, Uncle John, you did not warn me. I didn't know what you were bringing me into with Evan. You didn't warn me at all, bro.
Had you never met him before, Gary?
I've just watched some arm wrestling clips. That's it.
Oh, Jesus.
Look,
okay.
a full explanation of the Evan Bergoyen saga. I would really like to get into the absolute hell that was like 2 o'clock in the morning. We should definitely get into that.
I am going to go at some point and check that back. Because I didn't see Evan, whether it was Evan at his very best, or whether he was pretty tame for Evan. Because Evan's got levels.
He thought he was at his best.
He thought, he was prime, was he? Oh,
he thought he was.
I can't believe YouTube didn't kick you off.
Neil,
anyway.
Wait, Neil, can I just say one small thing?
Do it, mate.
My mother-in-law, of all that 24 hours, she tuned in for 5 minutes during the Evan thing, and she looked at my wife, and she said, what kind of operation are you running out of this house?
Amazing.
And how pissed is that gnome?
Oh my God.
Mate, Evan is not from a place most people have ever been. I mean, yeah, he exists in a different area. You know? What you think is strange, just another day at the office for Evan Bergoyen. Yep. Anyway, we'll come back to Evan. Nice little notification there from someone. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the last person on the call, the biggest person on the call, of course, unless John's let down, is Derek Smith. Now then, there's a bit of a tie-in to all of this because the Armathon was actually completely dedicated to sending that big bastard to Dubai. And one of the reasons for that is because Gary's known Derek for a very long period of time. I think they got into the sport around about the same time. Prior to that, Derek Smith was a professional gamer. I mean, that's ace. That's second only to porn star.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's pretty bloody good. So you earned a living from playing computer games. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can be a professional lazy bastard. I've been telling my sons that when they won't get dressed in the morning and playing computer games, and I'm like, hey, it's okay, mate. You can earn a lot of money from doing that. I know I do. So, Derek, we know Uncle Tom, we know about Gary. Where can these guys find the very best of Derek M. Smith?
Well, right now I got the YouTube channel going on Derek Smith Armwrestling, I believe it's just called. I got to find a better, way more clever name for that. But until Neil pick up nicknames me, I'm gonna stick with Derek Smith Armwrestling. But then I got Instagram too, AW Derek, and then I don't know, everywhere, just Derek Smith. I mean, on everything right now. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to go forward with all this stuff and catch up to all these guys on this call, hopefully one day.
Right now, legitimately, how the frig did we get on the stairs?
Yeah, come on, Neil. Inside info.
I'm telling you, that is nothing to do with me.
The Neil pickup production.
I am telling you, the stairs is nothing to do with me. Does anybody know how we got on the stairs?
You're joking. I am so gullible. I'm believing you right now. Are you going to make me go look at my settings? Like, did I do something wrong? And you're going to put
I don't know. So everybody check your settings, right? Because I genuinely have no freaking idea.
What are you talking about? What stairs?
Whoa, sweet child of mine. John.
Yeah.
Am I living in a parallel universe, or am I in a woods on a set of stairs? Derek, where are you? When you look at that screen, where are you?
Quit fucking with me, guys.
No, I'm not playing games. I swear to God, I will post this on Instagram.
You know that.
I'm telling you now. I will post this on Instagram now as I do this show.
You know.
I'm going to do a little bit of a smile for the birdie any second. Are you ready? There you go. We are on a set of stairs in a forest, and it looks like it's North America, Gary. Is that you?
What?
Neil, here's what Neil
telling you.
Neil Pickup said, I have to one-up this 24-hour business, and I'm going to have this elaborate joke to pull our legs, because I know this is not me.
Right. Now, Gary, I can see you now in your RMTV studio. But I am telling you now, as I look at this, I am telling you now, I am on a mother-fluffing set of stairs in a forest.
Is he fucking with me? Is he fucking with me?
I don't know. I have no idea what's
going on.
Tell me
that you can't see the set of stairs in the forest.
I see us on stairs.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Neil.
Okay. Listen,
wait.
You think you're funny, you mother fluffers. I'm telling you now. Do you ever get the feeling that everybody else knows about the gag and you don't? Because I'm getting that feeling.
Hold on. Time out. Wait. Uncle John, Derek, Are you honestly saying you don't see us in a forest?
Well, what if we're still in the middle of the Armathon and you're just taking a micro nap right now?
I'm trying to get at. Did I die? What is going on? Because it's a weird thing, this.
Neil Big
I mean, you can't even see how big Derek really is. You know, like in Jaws when they've got the frigging plank and the guy says, move to the end of the plank and give it some scale. Well, I wanted to do that with Derek. We can't see how big Derek is because we're on a set of stairs.
This has been a runaround joke all about my height this entire
Swear to God, I'm not joking. When I watch this back, we are not on a set of stairs. You realise that every single person watching this show is going to be like, that dude needs to stop sniffing glue.
Dude, I took a picture of it. We're on stairs.
Well, how do you see it, Gary? I don't see it. What kind of view are you guys on?
Dude, you gotta be joking, bro.
Set of steps. I don't know how we're on it, but we're on it. Right. I've just sent it to the group, our group chat, to do Talkin the Talk. Check out. That is what I am seeing.
Neil Pickup, you are lying to me, bro.
I'm not lying to you, dude. And I don't know how I get off that.
Come on.
I've done a lot of shows this year, and never have I been in a frigging park on a set of steps.
Show it to the people. Show the camera to the people. The picture to the people, Gary. Show the camera.
Dude.
No, John's disappeared.
Can you see the camera?
Right, it's got to be John. There's only John technically enough to pull that off.
How?
It sounds like something's wrong with your settings there, Neil, and Skype.
Dude, we're on.
Like, this is the first time I've ever used Skype, but
It says choose background effect, alright? So I'm going to look on choose background effect, and I'm going to do it to... Listen, mine is on don't have any background. So what are you motherfuckers? Shows scenic view in Yellowstone Park, alright?
Are you playing with me? You are serious?
What he said.
I thought you were joking, man.
No, I'm deadly serious, Gary. I'm on a set of stairs in a park.
in 20 minutes, Neil is going to pop some offhanded joke about it, make a dick joke, and then it's all going to come full circle.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it all to get tied back together.
Telling you, nothing to do with me. Right? For anybody watching out there, I'm not even going to apologise. Because I get the feeling I have been set properly up. Anyway, I'm just going to pretend it's not happening and crack on with the show in Uncle John style. Keep this professional, keep this rolling.
Okay, mine is set for no background effect.
Right,
So
what is John's set
me.
for?
Nothing. I got no background effect on.
Derek?
I got nothing. I want a cell phone.
Derek even looks honest. I don't believe that it's Derek. I do not trust Gary. Gary's laughing his ass. I think this is Gary's doing.
I've never used Skype in my life, bro. I mean, I've used Zoom. I have used Skype with you, but I don't know it. I don't know the program.
You know when sometimes you are convinced that there's fluffery afoot.
I swear to God, I feel like
fluffery.
There is fluffery afoot, ladies and gentlemen. Fluffery.
No,
Now
we're
then.
wrestlers, not tech savvy.
Okay, you're going to have to put up with us in a park, ladies and gents, because I don't know how we got on this set of steps, but it looks like we're not getting off them. I'm not even sat on the step like Kermit. I'm coming out of the step.
Can you see these? You see that?
See that? Can you see these?
Nice.
Right, let's wind the clock back a little bit and get into what we're going to
swear
talk
to
about.
God, Neil is fucking with us.
It's nothing to do with me, Gary, and
Dude,
you know it. So.
You start off with all the fixes with big jokes.
I never start them off on a frigging park. I never set them off in a scenic set of steps, Gary.
Yeah, you're playing 4D chess with jokes. You're
Never do I come live from. I do not start the fix with, ladies and gentlemen, here I am in the I'm in the motherflipping house, not the motherflipping park. Never do I say, Neil pick up with you from the motherflipping park. That is not one of my lines. Never come out with that. You know why? Never park, Gary.
What a rough start, huh? What a rough
Terror.
I love it.
Going to watch this bloody show again, aren't they? They're going to be like, these dicks can't even get out of the park. Anyway, and the thing is, they're not wrong. We can't. So,
okay, I see, since I changed the grid
okay.
to large grid, and now I see you guys.
Yeah, change yours to large
Tell us how you did that, because I can't see shit.
On the top right, is there a little grid thing?
Now I see 4 of you guys. The park is
Oh,
gone.
baby. Now I can see you. Now I can see you, but I can't see me.
Okay, so go to large grid.
Oh,
If you're on grid view, you get 3. If you're on large grid, you get all of us.
Oh, damn, this is amazing. There's a new technical director, and his name is Jonathan Thompson. In the fix, it's Rolly Royce. No. And I'll an easy one for you. John, what show is this?
Talkin, the talk.
Oh, yes. Right. We're going to go... Yeah. Come on, Gary. What the
Come on, Gary.
I'm sorry.
Right. Now then. Now that we've got the formalities out of the way. Gary, what the hell made you want to do that the other day, dude?
Okay. You're never going to believe how this started.
In the words, fill me in.
I got myself, I don't want to dig into the drama, but everyone knows I got involved in some drama, and a lot of people, there's people like you who've known me, and they forgive me. They're like, okay, we love Gary, but he went a little haywire. And then there's newer people who are like, this guy is just bananas. And anyways, I think I was on Artem's. I was on the Mississippi State's live stream, and then again on Artem's live stream. And I think his roommate, like Joey from Friends, but an asshole.
Jonathan Parsons.
I think it's Joey Parsons. He called me an irrelevant has-been. And I was like...
Gosh, mate.
I was like, I disagree. But, and I was like, there's only one way for me to, get everyone on board that, my intentions are sincere, that the situation I'm in this time is really different. There's no pressure. So I was like, I needed a kill shot. I needed something big to start off the new year. I was experimenting and getting all excited about the technological possibilities. Mm-hmm. And I just, I will never be like a world champion arm wrestler, but I like occasionally super matches. And if someone calls me has been or relevant, I needed to put that to the test. I needed to put all my money where my mouth is, like an event to say, is this guy for real? Am I irrelevant? Can I put everything and squash it all into a ball and prove, yes, I'm not irrelevant. I can have impact on this sport and maybe convert some of the people who think I'm just full of shit and possibly do some goodwill. Mm-hmm. So when I was experimenting with a live, I knew I really wanted to get into bringing some of the community together. That's what I really loved about Arm TV back in the day. It was a tighter community feel. So when I knew that I can invite people onto the Zoom calls, I was like, I envisioned doing town halls and doing something cool in that aspect. But I was like, I need something big. And so then I couldn't figure out what it was. And then that's when on the call, I was like, shit just kept popping up. I kept hearing Larry Wheels, Larry Wheels, Larry Wheels, Larry Wheels, Larry Wheels, Larry Wheels. And people going to Larry Wheels, and then even Coach Ray was going to visit Larry Wheels. And I was like, who really needs to go to Larry Wheels is freaking Derek. That's just my opinion. And
Derek's had some, were you aware that Derek had pulled Larry before? Because you guys
are
pretty tight, aren't you?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I heard all these threads kept coming together. And I felt like it was like a real living dream where, I'm not a big higher power. I really am not, I'm just not that kind of guy. But if there was some sort of other force at work, I felt like Derek Smith's face just kept being put in front of me at random times. More so than anyone. And it was like.
Ideally when you're not in bed with your missus.
Yes.
Arm
wrestling related. So I was like,
Comforting. I'm glad you said that, Gary, because for a minute there you had me worried a little bit.
so the whole thing is I got kind of addictive on the super chats, and I'm like, my finances are, my wife pays most of the bills, to be honest. I do the cleaning, I do the housekeeping, I do all the hard shit, and RMTV's limited funds right now, so I was like, well, I can't just pull out of my pocket, but I got into these super chats, and I was like, this fundraising thing, maybe this could be the way to do something cool for somebody and answer the question, am I irrelevant? But I got to be honest, when we started the thing and there wasn't a ton coming in, I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm going to be irrelevant. Oh, this is going to fall flat on my face. So I'm like,
at what point did you think that, Gary? Was this like halfway through or something?
Well, I launched the GoFundMe, and for the first couple hours, there was no GoFundMe. There was no donations. And so that's when I was like, I had toyed with the fact that I was going to say I'm not going to bed until mission accomplished. That is the only way for me to have the kill shot to Joey Parsons that I'm relevant. If I say I want to do some shit and get
that was a big ballsy move anyway, Gary, let's be honest, because, there are people out there, and probably a lot of them, that if you go on and set yourself up like that, they're going to try and keep you awake anyway. It's like, they'll be immediate, even if they like you, they'll be like on the phone to the mates and go, this guy's not going to go to bed unless he pulls it off. Let's see if we can kill the bastard. And then, that's what can happen. I mean, look, it can happen.
48 hours. I was going to die on the monitor. I was going to die in it. But the thing is, okay. So I was thinking about this and I was like, I need a partner, at least for the first part. I need a partner. So I'm like, Uncle John, he's just hungry enough to want to grow his content that he might volunteer this shit.
He's also really, really good and technically the wizard's tits.
Yeah.
You could probably record the first 8 hours and then loop it back.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, nobody's going to stay on there for 8 hours, are they?
Yeah, well, the thing was, I knew Uncle John was good, but I didn't know how good we'd be together. I know we did a show together, but he was mostly answering questions and let me have long answers. And so I was like, I was like, oh, I don't know how good he'd be with me, but man, he was awesome. He was so good.
I like the bit where he just was like, you know what, Gary? You. I'm going to bed. And then the next time I switch it on, he's changed his hat.
We need to clarify that.
The bastard.
Yeah.
I come on and I'm like, yep, John's good. He's got up there and he's sacked it off, gone to bed, probably had sex in a kebab, come back after a shower, and he's like, well, I don't know about anybody else, but I feel the balls.
The thing is ARM TV, I've always wanted it to be greater than me. I'm just work for ARM TV, but ARM TV always meant so much more. And the beauty of what happened is that the community took over. All I did was add them to the meeting, and you guys did your thing, and it created this beautiful thing that I had no control of.
You control Evan with mute.
That was in the first 25% where we were more structured. We had guests, and Uncle John did not warn me when Evan came on and he said, I'm going to swear, I was okay with a little swearing, but I didn't know it would be every word. And I was like, I didn't know it would be every word and at a 20 decibel level. I was just like, oh, I got to mute him. I can't, no one, I'm like, this guy there's no. Anyways, I was perfectly fine with it, Neil. I was perfectly fine with it. I just wish we could have shifted to midnight to 2 a.m. Because, if you're how they categorize television content on the rating system? Evan was definitely after midnight, like Cinemax, the beyond.
Well, I haven't seen this yet, but from what John was saying earlier on, it sounded like Evan came in
full Evan.
He was maxing.
Yeah, full Evan.
Taking over.
At 9 p.m. when some of the kids are still up. You know what I mean? So, okay. I had to mute him. But the funny thing is every time I muted him, he just went bananas. And that was even more funny. Because it was like, what is he saying behind the mute wall? So then I just kept fucking with him and kept muting him. So I'd say more into it, I was muting even just for giggles, the shits and giggles. So it's like I was playing along with it. And then he messaged me later. He's like, dude, I was having fun. Hope you didn't take that too seriously. And I was like, no, I was having fun too. You're like hot sauce. Like I can only take a certain level of you before I had to, hit the mute. It was like, anyways, that's how it started. And I picked Derek. I called Uncle John and we didn't tell anyone else. We kept it on the DL.
So Derek didn't actually know about it. You just selected Derek. He was the dude you were going to send over to. I mean, it's a great choice because Derek is very current. He's nowhere near his potential. I mean, he's not close. And he's on that upward trajectory. He's also arm wrestling mad. I mean, does a lot on Reddit, drives it forward, got a massive team as well. I mean, he's a very, very active individual. Some people will have seen, I'm sure, because he pulled Devon in the COVID lockdown.
No, I've got my ass kicked by the best, Neil. I've got my ass kicked by the best.
So, Neil, that's what made it perfect, because I had pretty much made up my mind. I was good to go that I was going to do this. And then I'd log in, and then Derek had a mission statement, like literally outlining, I want to focus on my channel. I'd love to do this for a living. One day I'd love to go to Dubai. It was like, okay, he literally.
Oh my God.
Point by point.
I mean, Derek's a cool dude, man, but I don't think there's too many guys who wouldn't have a similar mission statement. I mean, there's jobs that are just, if you're an arm wrestler, of course it's like, do you want to do arm wrestling for a living? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's if somebody came up to me and said, well, excuse me, Fatty, fancy being a porn star? I'd be like, They're like, really? And I'd be like, no, seriously, I'll be first into work.
Yeah. I know.
Lost out.
I know that, but his video literally like popped up above all my stuff like spam. Like it was like, you gotta watch this. And no one else's videos no other mission statements hit me in the morning when I woke up and I'm trying to change my kid's diaper. And then I try to swipe right and his video comes back. It's like, no,
well,
watch
to be fair though, Gary, you guys are mates. You've been mates for a lot of years. Like I said earlier, you came into the sport at the same time. You were obviously in California a lot at that time because that's where you were based out of. So Derek was one of the original crew, wasn't he?
Yeah, well that's the thing is that I was at his first event. When I went up to the table, I don't know if it was his first match.
I smoked that ass.
But I thought I was going to beat him. I thought I was going to beat him at his first match. Mm-hmm. And then he said, I'm a lifer. I'm never leaving. He told me that on camera. And then when I returned for the sport, and we had some road trips, we had a bunch of practices in SoCal. And then when I came back into arm wrestling, he messaged me specifically and said, hey man, I told you I never left. I'm still here. And then the whole thing, his name got brought up with Travis, and I didn't realize what Derek had accomplished, and I kind of dissed him on the show when Travis said, man, Derek Smith. And so then we had more conversations, and he's like, dude, no, I literally, I take this very seriously, and I felt you kind of made little of my love for the sport. And I was like, dude, I did not realize. And so then I started to investigate more and more, started watching, and he's right. His YouTube channel, it wasn't about clicks. It wasn't about trying to go viral. It was just about trying to bring people into the sport and teach them how to arm wrestle. And I really respected that his love wasn't blinded by what do I got to do to gain popularity. It was like, what do I got to do to help people become better arm wrestlers? And I was like, there's something admirable about that. And then I've heard multiple people say that he's right here below that elite and he wants to get into that echelon. Mm-hmm. And he says that's what I want. And it's like he still has all his focuses while he still loves training with the new guys. And then he had that connection with Larry Wheels. It was just like,
yeah, I mean, you already knew Adam, didn't you, Derek? Because you told...
I knew Adam from when I met Larry.
Okay.
From
So
yeah, no, I had a good relationship with him. We actually just talked the other day as well. So great guys. Yeah, but Gary was the one that he kind of got me started. I mean, he introduced me. I remember he took me to Vegas. He introduced me to all the big names. I remember he sat me down next to John the first time I ever met John, and Todd Hutchings and Richard Lupke's and Michael Todd.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gary's the one that took me to all that. Gary I couldn't afford a subscription when he had ARM TV, so he let me work on the site for him for a subscription. Me and Josh.
Oh yeah, of course he did. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, just he opened up a lot of doors for me, and so I always like look up to Gary in a big way, especially as me like getting network and stuff, and he always looked out for me, and that's why when he was gone, I missed Gary, and then when he came back, I was excited to see him. But yeah, I mean, dude, I'm just a hardcore arm wrestler. As far I mean, we all are, and I just love the sport, and so I don't know. I never saw arm wrestling as like a chance to make money. It was because our sport was so small. It was like we had a real tight knit community. We wanted to just keep growing and stuff like that. So I don't know. And then now, if there is an inkling of a chance for someone like me to make money or make a living off arm wrestling, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I mean, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, there's a number of people that are actively doing the same. One of them is John. John, obviously, your background's in sort of radio and presenting, and you can really see that shine through what you do. You're very polished in that respect. You've got that style about you, that professional rate. I mean, this could lead to a bigger radio job for you. I mean, there's all kinds of things that could come of it because you're putting yourself out there. If nothing else, you're getting a lot of experience, but it's clear to see that arm wrestling is your thing. It's what you do.
Absolutely.
But John, when Gary came on to you the other day, and you were in a situation where you couldn't lift your own arm due to having done 2,000 curls like a couple of days before.
Yeah.
What did you think, mate? Were you up for it? Did you think, don't be a penis, Gary? No.
So I had a couple thoughts. So since Gary's come back, we've developed a relationship where we talk probably at least once a week or something like that.
Wait, because we have history too.
Yeah, we have history too. That's true.
Holy shit, how many people have you slept with, Gary?
All
probably most.
God.
Because I started arm wrestling around the same time that Derek did, really, like 2010-ish type of area. And so all the stuff that Derek's talking about, I was watching on ARM TV.
Were you in Minnesota at this time?
I was in Minnesota at that time. Okay. So then, as you said, Gary was like everywhere, like 2010 to 2012. And me being just fresh into arm wrestling, Gary comes in. I think the first time we met might have been Minnesota States. And Gary, of course, is just like bigger than life. Mm-hmm. And I was really drawn to that. And even though I was brand new in the sport, he's just like, come on in, man. Come on in. Let's have a good time. And there was probably 4 or 5 big events where I got to know Gary a little better. But the best one was the Arnold Classic. I think in 2012 or 13.
Yep.
And I just remember we were running sprints in the basement of a hotel. That's and good. I brought it up to Gary. I'm like, Gary, what if we did commentary over some of the matches that you have on ARM TV? And Gary says this to me. He says, don't tell me about it. Show me about it. Show it to me. Let me see it. And it took a long time, but that is one of the things I always remembered, and that's that was part of the birth of Uncle John, to tell you the truth. Were those
and why Uncle John? Give me because you're a young guy. How old are you, John?
30, almost 37.
37. Okay, you've got a baby face, dude.
I am an uncle in reality, but I'm big on being a character, right? So Uncle John isn't necessarily John Thompson. Uncle John can be a lot of different things. Uncle John is something that everyone is going to remember, right? Mm-hmm. It's just, you see Uncle John, da-da-da-da-da. So it's my goal to kind of make that Uncle John synonymous with arm wrestling, and it's fun. I wanted it to have a fun connotation to it, like not taking anything too serious. It seems to be working so far.
Yep. And I'm unusually comfortable calling you Uncle John. It just is like...
Right?
It just feels good. Uncle John.
So, hello, you did it. Just to show that level of comfort. That was amazing. I felt your comfort right then. Yeah. Well, you did it. It's like, Uncle John, there you go. Proved it.
So to go back to Gary calling me.
Yeah.
So Gary, whenever Gary calls, I'm just like, all right, let's hear it. What's it going to be? And so he's like, all right, I got an idea.
Hold on. Wait.
That's unlike you, Gary.
When I came back into the sport and I saw what he was doing, oh my God. I mean, you too. No disrespect to you, Neil, but you're already a legend. Like you're, you know,
You
like
say
you're
the
a
nicest things, mate. I'll tell you what, which my missus could hear.
I'm just
stuff.
saying, like,
My missus would be like, you're a wanker. And
I'm
then
just saying,
I come on here and you're telling me which is
I'm
it,
just
wanker?
saying, like, everyone knows what you've done. So it's like, okay, Neil's been a legend. He is a legend. He's still a legend. But when I came out and I see what Uncle John was doing, I mean, I just felt immediately connected to him. I don't know. I mean, I log on and he gives me this big like intro, and I'm like, I called him. I was like, you don't need the intro like that. Dude, we're homies. Like, me and you, dude. I don't need. Anyways, I just immediately connected with him, and just felt right at home. And so,
and obviously John's a diehard fan of the sport. You know, Derek, diehard fan of the sport. So, I mean, you like these guys have said, when they came into the sport, they would have spent hours upon hours watching on TV.
Yeah.
Because that's what people did.
Yeah, but I don't know if he'd never known about ARM TV, I don't know if he'd be different. So I don't know if I connected with him this time because we had history, but we'd chat, I'd send him messages, we'd talk. I ran by my format idea with him, and it's like, I just kind of bonded with him over this period of time.
Yep.
So I didn't call him out of the blue, per se.
Yeah.
Anyways, go on, John.
So Gary calls me up. He says, I got an idea. Cool. Love it. I'm in, no matter what. And he's like, we're going to do a live show, and we're not going to stop until we get enough money for Derek Smith to go to Dubai. I'm like, I like that. And also hate it because we are going to be on that live stream for a long goddamn time. And I knew, as soon as I heard it, I knew I was going to do it. I just wasn't sure about the logistics of it all because Gary comes in hot. When Gary's got an idea, it's coming. And you better be ready for it. And he's got guests lined up, and he's got giveaways lined up, and he wants to bring people in for the chat. And I'm just like, that's a lot of variables, Gary. That's a lot of places for things to go wrong. But I said, what the hell? It's never been done before in arm wrestling. It's something that'll be completely new, and nobody's really going to be anywhere this year because everybody's locked down anyways.
And Neil, I was only asking him to do the front. I was only thinking midnight. I didn't ask him to come do it all night. He's the one who volunteered. I was like, wait. I'm just asking. He's like, no, I'll do the whole thing. I was like, wait, are you sure? Are you sure about this?
I understand why he's bonded with you, though, Gary, because, not going to lie, dude, this motherfucker knows you. Because a lot of things, he said things to me that really resonate. I'm going to, recount a few of those right now. Like, firstly, when you do a super chat, bearing in mind you're talking to a guy who is not technical at all, I can now work. Well, a toaster, I can do that. There's not a lot of stuff that I can do, but I've got a toaster done, kettle, got that one. But I'm not that good on technical stuff, okay? When you do a super chat, when you get a bill, does it say on there, super chat, super chat, super chat? And you said your wife pays all the bills, so it got me thinking, because I'm one of those dudes who I'll go out and, I'll get a few beers in with the lads, and we might end up in a strip club, and I go, by this point, I'm fairly levered. And then you go out, you got £200, £300 in your wallet, and then later on you get to the pizza house on your way home, and you open your wallet, and you're like, oh shit.
No,
all the money. And, that's okay. You're kind of that guy, but on super chats. You'll be like you're on a fruit machine as a child, and you throw another pound in there, and then suddenly realise you've spent everything. That's you on super chat, Gary.
Listen. So my wife's and our finances are separate because I cannot be trusted with money. So my super chat is my thing that I hope
she sit you down and have that chat. When you were gonna, it's like, my dear, I love you. She said, I love you too, Gary. But
No,
I
no,
need you to know, if we're going to be married, we need to have separation. A healthy separation, Gary. And you went, of course, my dear. And she
Well,
went,
we're not.
because you're a super chat prick. I've seen you on super chats, and you run it like a friggin' idiot. Because you do. I mean, I'll be watching Uncle John, and you'll fire out like 15 super chats, and you don't even ask the fucking question. I'll stay on there. Travis interrupts, and the fucking question doesn't even come out. You've paid $20 for that.
Yeah, I was just trying to support my man, Uncle John. But listen, I swear to God, this happened. So I did the super chats with different amounts, and no, they don't come up with super chat. It's Apple iTunes who runs the things through your bank. So
you just pretend that you're heavily into music.
Well, when I looked at my bank account a couple days later and I saw all these random charges, it did not say super chat and it combined them. Like if I super chatted 20 and 25 and then 10, it said like $64.99. And I was like, who stole my credit card? And I was like going to call the bank because I didn't realize I super chatted almost $250. And so I was like, where'd all the money go? And then I called the bank. They're like, well, you got to call iTunes or you got to log into iTunes, which I never log into iTunes.
You $250 to that mother flipper's channel.
Yeah. Hey, Heart Studio brought to you by Gary Roberts and ArmTV.
I mean, Gary, have you got any idea what you can see at the strip club for $250?
I know. Dude, I told Uncle John, I was like, oh, I can't. I'm just going to become a Patreon. I can't keep doing that.
Because me and Derek, we know that. Derek's not saying shit because he's got a daughter and but we know.
Well, to make a long story Derek, I had somebody message me saying, you were right, super chats are addictive. I've got one guy on your fundraiser, I think he's up to 15 super chats.
For what kind of money?
Oh my God, it's okay.
What's the biggest super chat you've ever got?
How do I minimize this? I swear.
Back on the stairs.
There's like I have his list. It says like $49.99, $25, $79.99, and then $13.99, $13.99, $13.99, $13.99, $13.99, $13.99. And then he went to the GoFundMe and did like $50.
Was it Mike?
What did he ask?
It was Michael Coburg, wasn't it?
He did some, but no, this was Steven Crowther from Canada. He won the arm bet table actually.
Nice.
But anyways, he was right. So super chats are addictive, which I was kind of hoping for that people would get into it. But the funny part is Eric Rasen, he came in later. He's like, this isn't even for Derek. This is so I could get Gary to go to bed. And Eric's over $100, $150 or something like that.
I don't give a shit about Derek. I just want you off, Matt. Because you weren't going for 24 hours at first, were you? Let's be honest. There was no intention for you to go for that long, initially. You know?
Here's what I told my wife. I said, honey, I need your help and be cool that I'm going to start at like 5. Here's my idea how it's going to go. No one's going to take me seriously. Then I'm going to go to bed. It's going to thin out. Then people are going to wake up in the morning and they're going to be like, oh shit, this motherfucker's for real. And then they're going to help me reach the goal. So I was like, worst case scenario, I'll probably go to bed about 8 or 9 in the morning. So just one all-nighter, you gotta be okay with that. But I was clear we were not going to make it. And I didn't want to show any signs of weakness. So I kept the hard line. I am not going to bed until we do this. You can show no weakness. No weakness.
You don't. I mean, in the time you had allocated, because there was periods of time, Gary, I'm not going to lie, when you had probably similar, when you had Evan Bergoyen on, just louder and more violent and aggressive. But when you had some really quiet people on there, like Yuri, for example, when he came on, and Yuri came on and could have run that show for 4 or 5 hours. You get him and Brad Cook, and they were like really dialed down and really professional. How in the you stayed awake during that period of time? I have no idea. But you had a pair of reading spectacles on, and you were looking down. So I'm thinking, is he making like a elaborate cardboard cutout of himself, which he's then going to position on a chair, and he's be like, I'm going for a quick piss. Going for a piss. And then Out you go. Nobody's really watching. Next thing you know, cardboard cutout.
It was all about I was trying to keep track of the numbers. I was hitting up messages. People were messaging me. I had my coffee maker right here. I had conversations going. The community saved my ass. That's the bottom line. The community.
Was there any periods of time in there where you were like, you know, where you got an Uncle John on, when you were like, I'm off?
Yeah, dude, like 12 people. I mean, one, the Aussie arm wrestler, he could run the thing. Jason Merlot, he was fantastic. Brad Cook, if you're listening to this, Brad Cook, how in the world you're shy about your voice? Dude, you're super smooth as well.
Shy about his voice?
Yeah.
He's like totally a white, he's literally like a Barry White voice. Yeah. He's got that deep baritone. He's got it going on. Like a friggin', can you imagine if Brad Cook was telling you a bedtime story? Yeah. You would be friggin' gone, wouldn't you?
That's awesome. He's trying to say it's just because he has a good mic, but no, he's totally legit. Yeah, not just cinematography skills, but he's legit. But I have kind of a two defining things. Yourself, you coming in and out, it was just like, oh shit, like I got the man, the legend is like supporting the mission. And then when you weren't on the show, you were in the chat with your long, stringy emojis. And I was like, dude, come in the show. Like,
I was doing all kinds of stuff during the day. Yeah. And I'd keep checking on to see if you were still, and I'm thinking, mother fluffers are still going, you know, and I missed a lot of the show, but then I'd go in, and every time I came in, just so happened that something came up that I'm like, no, that's not true, or that's not accurate, or that's not so. You know what I'm like, Gary? I'll call you from the shower if I'm. You know. Yes. So that was it. I noticed one of them. I saw the White Oak. Paul Lynn was on there, so I thought, oh my God, Paul Lynn. And my little boy said, oh, it's Paul Lynn, Dad, because he does the fix with us. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's Paul. So I messaged in and then came back on. At that point, I noticed that John, who I'm going to get to in a minute again, was like really approaching that edge of the cliff thing, because I could see, I know, because I was watching those little bits, there were times when, you know, like, have you ever seen the film Basketball when he's been hammered drunk the night before and he has to go out and take the shot with Lazy Boy and he's literally giving it that, you know? I saw John and Paul were both in that stage. Paul Lynn at some point, if I watch that back, I know that Paul Lynn was like, you know when your eyes, you're like,
I fell asleep like 3 times.
Neil, that whole section you're talking about, it's so blurry. I don't remember any of it, honestly. I don't remember any of it.
To you very clearly that process that led us into that wasn't the hell. The hell was an hour before that. Because we had a good lineup. We had we started with Neil. Then we went to Travis, and Travis was on for a bit. Then we had Ryan Bowen, and then sometime in there, Evan came on. Then we had Jamie Sheldon, but really, and up until then, I think things were going really, really good. And nothing ever like super bottomed out. But we had a trifecta of doom on the show at one point. And for me, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning in the Atlantic time zone. And it was me and Gary, Evan Bergoyen, John Dabo, and Bear Horn all at the same time. Oh. So, and this went on for like an hour. And we have Evan and Barry, and Evan would talk for a minute straight, and Barry would come back with like, you one of those guys that's got a dildo in his back pocket? and then Evan would lose his mind, and then it would go like this. And if I should have taken Evan out about an hour before we did. I should have made that.
How long was he on for, John?
At least 2 hours, probably.
Jeez. Okay, Neil Pickup. I forgot to mention this. I'm sorry. Uncle John saved the show, the entirety, because I was lost. I didn't know what to do when because people were in the comments saying, I love Evan. And people were at Facebook messaging me saying, Evan's ruining everything. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like totally lost. And then John's like, dude, we got to reboot. Get everyone off. I was like, are you sure? I was like a deer in headlights. I didn't know what to do. I didn't realize. He said, if you want me to stay up all night, we got to get back to talking about arm wrestling and be serious. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. I hadn't realized that because it was like New Year's Eve, and I was thinking maybe we're just going to let drunk people rant on for hours and hours. And he's like, if I'm going to participate, we need to actually be talking. So he reset us, and I didn't realize that's what changed. That's what got the rest of the community to start calling in. That's the Ukrainian guys came in, and I was just sitting back, and I was like, holy shit, these guys are just talking about arm wrestling. And I was like, okay. They're right. It's like the stress level went back to normal, and you saved the show, Uncle John.
Well, I think I saved it when I was the one who set up the circumstances to ruin it in the first place, maybe. But and don't get me wrong, Evan can be highly entertaining, but it has to be focused by someone. And you can there's no person on the planet that can focus that guy for more than about 25 to 30 seconds. So, you gotta be careful. You gotta use them when you can. And having those three guys, having Davo, Barry Bourne, and Evan on the same, it's like you're feeding your mogwai after midnight, right? You're just, nothing good is gonna come out of that.
That's some serious heavyweight. I mean, Barry's kind of chilled by John and Evan.
John was pretty chilled. No, John was not the,
John wasn't the Gary Roberts interview, John.
No. He was chill.
Okay.
He was pretty chill.
See, I haven't seen this, so I need to go back and check it.
Yeah, no,
he's pretty. Evan said he's going to start his own channel. I talked to him yesterday about his start. I was like, why don't you start your own channel, Evan? And he goes, I don't know what I do. And I was like, just review matches and review any kind of video and just let the true Evan come out on your review of whatever is going on the screen. That's what people watch.
Subscribers.
He said, I can do that.
He cannot do that. He will not do that. He's like, before he went on this rant, he was like, let's do a show. Let's do a show on Uncle John. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. Well, give me 3 or 4 ideas about what you want to do. I don't want to do that. Okay.
Hey, I actually thought about starting a show and just calling it something like Lunacy. And getting on there, you could have like Tom Nelson, Evan Bergoyen. Can you imagine if I invited Evan Bergoyen and Tom Nelson on to give people true facts?
Yeah. Oh my God.
But then I thought, no, I can't do this because if they ever disagreed on anything, it'd basically start the biggest fist fight in arm wrestling history at the next event. Because one thing about both those dudes there isn't an off switch.
Right.
It's a fight. They're going to fight. And I was afraid if I kicked Evan off that there would be repercussions later. This guy seemed really angry, and I was like, oh, I don't know what's going. I don't know if this is real or not. Can I do one more shout out?
Yeah.
Herman Stevens. I feel like we were friendly back in the day. Like, I filmed him. I mean, it was similar relationships with a lot of arm wrestlers. But I'm not sure what happened recently. There was a little, he was ignoring my messages. I'd comment. I'd ask him some questions. And he kind of, iced me. And I was like, when he came on the show, and he said, your show is dying. And he came on, and he started contributing. I was like, I've never been so happy in my life. And I told him on camera, I was like, I'm never going to say another word about Herman Stevens. It was like a defining moment for starting the new year, getting some negativity in the past and seeing him contribute and getting the conversations going. I just want to say how appreciative I am to him out there, and nothing but love.
Herman Stevens is one of the most formidable individuals in the game. In a number of areas, he's highly intelligent, highly articulate, extremely informed, loves the game. Definitely different set of parameters. Only the other day on the show, I said you are a weirdo, and he is. Complete weirdo.
Yeah,
most trigger points aren't his trigger points. His opinion on things is different. I like him. I think he's cool as shit. I get on with Herman. I've not had a cross word with the lad. And he's strong as balls. Herman's really, really, really good. I mean, Ryan and Herman came up the other day on the show, and Herman, obviously, that was a trigger point, but the wind-ups that Ryan does on Herman to try and talk himself into the match have the opposite effect on him. It makes him definitely not want to pull,
Herman's
which is probably quite baffling.
Man of principle. That's how I've always explained Herman. He's a man of principle. It could be for $10 million. If he doesn't like you, no, I'm good. It's man of principle.
He convinced me he's a weirdo camera guy.
He's weirdo. I don't know about camera guy. Yeah, he's going to have to walk me through the camera guy thing. I don't know how he may have a camera phone. I don't know. But to be fair to Herman, terrible misfortune of late with his personal life. I mean, did you see his interviews that I did with him on the Deep Inside series? Friggin' properties all blown down?
Yeah, I've been
That's serious.
Up with it.
I mean, you can say, okay, insurance and this, that, and the other, and it can be a blessing in the long run, but he's got a young son, and it's really frustrating, a massive imposition on your way of life. Plus, I think the company that he works for is an engineer by trade, and the company that he works for also took massive damage and was shut down so he's had just turmoil, absolute turmoil. But he's ice. Seems to bother him. What an hombre. What an hombre.
Hey, I feel like with this show, with us on here, I feel like it would be great for us to plug some other YouTube channels that are making arm wrestling content. I mean, that's what we're kind of based on here, right?
Yeah, talking the talk. That's what it's all about, mother fluffers.
Yeah, maybe we go around and we each throw out one channel that we see coming up.
Unless they're a total knobhead. Then
do we want to do that or save that for episode 2?
Forget that.
Do we want to save that for episode 2? Are we in episode 2?
Just going over that like beautiful, well-timed and well-thought-out speech that I gave you guys when we came on, where I said 40 minutes, 45 minutes maximum, on any of the shows. Well, turns out that was bullshit. And one of the reasons that was bullshit was because for the first at least 18 minutes of this show, we were a set of steps in a park.
You're bullshitting me that you didn't know about this, man.
I don't Gary, I am telling you, mate, I had no idea about the park step thing. I still don't know. Like, I wasn't kidding. Poster. Alright. Backgrounds on here? No.
Okay.
I get loads of comments in my shows about, oh, Neil, if you just did this, if you just did this, if you just did... I don't know how you do that. At all.
No, but
the technical director...
Here's why... But you're releasing all these commercials with your logo and art and all these animations. What are you talking about? You're not technical.
Who knows a dude that knows a dude? Who knows a dude?
Neil, we know you're tech savvy. Stop hiding it. We know you're doing this secretly.
Not happening. Listen. To be continued, mother fluffers. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps us up in this first ever, quite weird, quite strange, what was that touched me there, and did I like it? Kind of way. The first episode ever of Talking the Talk was quite an emotional experience, probably, on a lot of levels. But we're going to end it there at about 1 hour and 3 minutes in, much, much longer than we expected it to be. Not always a bad thing, but in this instance probably was. We will see you the next time, right here on Talking the Talk, mother fluffers.